Hey, what's up guys, Ibrahim Stek here, back with the new video. So in this video I'm going to be telling you about my top 2 favorite pieces of tech. So let's get started. My first favorite piece of tech is going to be the newest MacBooks. The MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro and the Mac Mini. Now they all come with the newest Apple's own M1 chip, which is, trust me, really fast. Now when comparing the MacBook Air, which I use the baseline version, and the newest one, the M1 chip one, there's a huge difference in performance. Now my favorite piece of tech for this year is gonna be the newest M1 chip MacBooks. Now they released the MacBook Air, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini. Now there has been a big performance jump, and it has just changed the whole game with the M1 chip. Now what is the M1 chip? The M1 chip is basically Apple's own chip, like how they make chips for smartphones and iPads on their own. So basically now, instead of using Intel chips, they're using their own chips, which is basically just a better and a bigger version of the iPhone chips. And as you already know, that iPhones are really powerful. So the M1 chip's a bigger version, which is going to be like really powerful. Now the reason why my favorite piece of tech are the new MacBooks is because it's really powerful. There has been a big performance jump, as I mentioned before, and just talking about Geekbench scores, here are some results that I'm going to be talking about. Now I used the baseline version of the MacBook Air from early, like the Intel version, and my Geekbench scores are pretty okay. And while normal usage, I've been getting an okay performance, which is like pretty good, faster than Windows though. But the M1 chip has completely changed the game. Now this is the benchmarks for the Intel Core i3 computers. For single core it's 908, for multi-core it's 1700. Alright. And last year when they was the Intel Core i7, basically beginning of this year 2020, when there was the Core i7 MacBook Air, the scores were 1130, and then for multi-core it was 3058. Now and then when the M1 chip MacBooks came like recently, the baseline version, the MacBook Air, beat the single core one, beat the iMac. That's how powerful it is. And the 27-inch iMac means the bigger one, and that's really good. Now the baseline version of MacBook Air, the numbers are 1619 for single core, and for multi-core 6292. That is really good. Now some YouTubers also made a video about this. They tested out all of these new laptops and stuff, and one of the YouTubers, Austin Evans, he edited his video on this using Final Cut. Now Final Cut is a really heavy tool, and if I was be editing on my MacBook right now, the baseline version from early 2020, I would not, it was not possible. It would lag so much that the video would crash or something. But he was able to do that, and for every app right now it needs to be updated to the M1 chip version. But let's talk about Fortnite, which is an old game and does not support Macs anymore, and has got no updates. Still runs really well on the M1 chip MacBooks. Now the last update for Fortnite on iMacs and MacBooks was around like 6 months ago. So that's a long time, and that was for the Intel version. There's no new update for the Mac M1 chip version, but it still runs fine. And as Austin Evans mentioned in his videos, that he was about to get an 60 FPS 60 FPS on around like 70 to 83 resolution, which is really good. And you can also edit videos on there at 4K 60 FPS with no issues. And the good thing is that the price is still the same. There's no difference in the price. Now the second favorite thing for me is gonna be the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G. Now I know it's a pretty long name, but it's my favorite one. And the reason why it's my favorite is because they released their first foldable phone, the Galaxy Fold 1, and it had a lot of issues. Like, people would take off the protective layer, the plastic, and then they would realize that, oh, this is the part of the display. I have done unboxings before, and there is always like a wrapper or like a protection, like a screen protector made of plastic at the beginning. I'll link an unboxing in the description below so you can go and see. And it was on that phone too, and then people removed it and then realized that it was part of the screen. So this one was a big improvement, to be honest. It was looking much better. Finally, the front screen was a bit usable, and yeah, I think it was like a pretty good jump. And then they did both displays to 120 hertz, and the display, like the front display, was usable now since it was like pretty big now, and it was 120 hertz. So, and you were getting best 5G and Snapdragon 865, which is the flagship chip right now. So I guess it was a pretty good smartphone. Still not the best, but a pretty good improvement. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links will be down in the description below. And I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Peace.